string and tie it onto your base. Let's move these out of the way. And what I do is I tie it in just a normal overhead knot, and then I part the fibres of the string, and then I tie it again to make it extra secure, just so it doesn't move. And then I'm going to tie it again round the back. And I'm just going to cut them ends off, and then I'm going to start wrapping around these two ends here. So just wrap around the whole of the hoop. Then tie your ends off just like you did at the beginning and start with your star shape. I've chosen a mustard to go on this one, and you're just going to tie it on just like you did on your hoop shape. And you're going to start wrapping. Now this shape is going to be a little bit trickier than the hoop. It's still the same concept, just make sure you're just going up and under and then back over, just wrapping your hoop. Make sure you do it pretty tightly at the ends to cover all the copper. Make sure you've fully covered that shape. And then cut off the ends when you've got two of the segments left and tie that on. This is going to be covered with string at the bottom, so you don't need to worry about that being covered with the string. Tie it once, back. And then just cut, whoop, cut it off. And there's your star shape. So next we're going to do the web on the hoop. I've got my thick thread and I'm just going to tie that on to one of the sides of this hoop shape. Just in an overhead knot, I'm going to tie it about 4 times just to make sure it's secure, and then I'm just going to cut the thread off. So I have got other videos where I show in great detail how to start the web, but I'll show you here again. So what you do is you get your thread, you put it over your hoop like so. Sometimes what I do to measure is I use the thread that I am threading it with to measure. Can you see how I'm doing it there? The segments that I'm going to have in my shape, in my web shape, sorry. So going to go over and under. So what you're going to do now, measure again. I go over it like this, and then round, and then through the actual hoop here. Again, measure, going round, and then through. If you do need to know how to do a dreamcatcher hoop in detail, I do have a macrame dreamcatcher tutorial on my channel if you want to look for that. That will teach you how to do a web, like a basic web. It's best before you do this video to actually learn how to do the basic web, because this is going to be like a beaded web. And then when you come round the full circle, you're going to go under this one now. This where it becomes a bit easier. So you just literally go under these now. So now I've gone round twice. I'm going to leave a little bit of thread like this and I'm going to cut it, as you can see. So now get your thread and get your beads. I'm going to use grey for this one. And thread your beads onto it. It's best to use beads that have quite a thick hole. Don't use beads that have a very thin hole, because you'll be there all day trying to thread it. Unless you've got the time to do it. So I've put on 11 beads there. Then tie it on to the end of your string. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use just a normal overhead knot to tie that on. That's all I use, just a simple overhead knot. And then I'm going to tie again. I'm probably going to tie it about 6 times. There are different knots that you can use to tie it, but that's just the knot that I use, just the normal overhead knot. Right, when your beads are on there securely, you're just going to keep threading it through. Now if you want, you can leave your beads there like that, and you can thread them all through afterwards, or if you want, you can just bring them along with you. As you're going around. Either way it doesn't matter, because you can just thread them afterwards. Don't leave any segments out when you're going around your dreamcatcher. So when you get to about here, so you've got all the way around, now I'm going to thread them through. Just so they're not all in the same position, it doesn't make the web go a bit off shape. It probably won't make it go off shape, but I just feel like I'd like to just thread all these through. Then when you get to about here and you know you've got enough pull to make the centre, cut your thread but leave a little bit of thread to pull on, and then pull, and you should get that shape. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go through one of the segments in the centre. And then pull it up through the other side and through the loop, and then pull tight. So all you're doing literally is just tying a knot around into the segments to make it tight in the middle, and then it doesn't come undone. I'll probably do it about 4 or 5 times just to make sure that it definitely won't come undone. Go. Next step, get your scissors, your wire, and just cut a small bit off like this. Doesn't need to be very big. Grab your 2 shapes. So we're going to put the star underneath the dreamcatcher shape, just like this. So first what you're going to do is get your wire, some wooden beads to your wire. Just like that. Ooh. Don't know if it's going to focus on that, but yeah, just like that. And then tie it to the bottom of your dreamcatcher. So you're basically just wrapping it round the bottom of that dreamcatcher shape. I'd say about 5 times wrap it round. Now it probably would have been a good idea to put the beads on after I'd put it round this shape, so keep that in mind. And then get your star shape and wrap the wire that's left around that, and then you probably have to cut a bit off, but mine's just my amount of wire was perfect. So then you should have something a bit like that. Next we're going to put the macrame on the bottom of the star here. So I've cut 2, 4, 6, 8 pieces of string at about 150 centimetres. You can make yours smaller if you'd like to. And I'm going to add them to the bottom of the star. So starting in the middle, I'm going to do a lark's head knot. So I'm going to go round the back. You can see I've put my string in half as usual. Round the back, part, and then put your string through your loop. Then again, round the back, put your string in half first. I'm going to show you about the string in my hand so you can see a bit clearer, but you probably know how to do this bit if you've seen my other videos. Round the back part, put this string through. Then when you've got them all on, you're going to make 4 square knots. So grab the 2 at the end, well, the 4 pieces of string at the end like this. And then take your filler knots in the centre and your 2 knots that you're going to use to tie the knot around it. Put this knot in front of the 2 in the centre. Sorry. Put this knot in front of the 2 in the centre. And then this one here is going to go in front of your 4th knot and behind the 2 middle ones. Ooh, and then through the loop. I'll show you again. And then you just do it backwards, so like that. I'll show you again. I do have a video that I'll link down below on how to do a square knot because it's a bit harder to see with the black string. So square knot, take your 4th string, pull it in front of your 2 filler cords in the centre. Take your 1st string, put it in front of your 4th, behind the 2 in the centre, and then through between this 3rd and 4th string like this. Then you're basically doing it backwards on the way to finish off the knot. So put number 1 in front of the 2 filler cords, and the 4th knot in front, around the back of the 2 filler cords, so you're going to go between 1 and 2. And that brings you a square knot. If you're not 100% on how to do a square knot, please look at that square knot video, I'll link down below. Holy fuck. Then get the 4 pieces of square, Then get the 4 pieces of string in between the 2 centre ones and then make another square knot. And then the 2 in between these, make another square knot. Very hard to see on here, so basically what I'm doing is I'm making a triangle shape with the black cord, black string. Very hard to see with black string, I didn't realise, sorry, I apologise. So what I've done is I've made an alternate square knot pattern where I've done 4 at the top, then 3, then 2, then 1. Now I'm going to add some of this mustard And I'm going to go with 150 centimetres again and put it in half. So now I'm going to add 4 pieces of macrame. So now I'm going to add 4 pieces of mustard string, again in 150 centimetres. Put them in half and then add with a lark's head, reverse lark's head knot. So I'm adding this to either side of the centre pattern. And then I'm going to tie another square knot, but leave a little space. So I've probably left about 3 centimetres, about 1 inch on either side, like this. And then do the same again underneath that one. And then tie these two together using the 4 centre strings of a square knot. Very simple design. Next, add the string to your Next I'm going to carry on adding black string all the way up here, gradually getting shorter. Now I'm going to add some lengths to these segments here. So I'm going to start with, I think I'll start with black and then I'll do mustard at the top. So now I'm going to add some black to this segment here in a lark's head knot, so it goes over the string like that. As you can see, I go around this piece of string here, pull apart, thread this through. So you're basically just doing a lark's head knot, but on this part here, so pull apart and thread through. Through this piece of string here, pull apart, thread these two through. I'm just adding some black string. You can do it in any length you like. Next I'm adding 3 black lengths to each side of the dreamcatcher, just so it's just outside of where your star is going to sit at the bottom. So I'm doing 3 on this side and 3 on the other. And it just about hits the side of the star. Next, grab your crystal. This is just an agate slice. You can get these from eBay or Amazon. This is a clear one, you can also get them in different colours. So what I've done now is I've put this piece of wire through the top of it. Just make sure you do get it already drilled the hole. And then twist. Then what you're going to do is get some grey beads. I've got 6 grey beads here, and add them. And then you're going to wrap the wire around the top of your star shape. Around 3 times. Put the excess off. Tidy that up a bit. And there is your shooting star dreamcatcher. The metal shapes and string used in this tutorial I'll link down below. And the beads used in this tutorial will be coming soon to our DIY section. So I'll link them down below when they are in stock as well.